hier nach Berlin verlagert wurde, und das wird Herr Poll noch ausführen, haben wir gesagt, wir müssen mit einem Katastrophenkongress auch etwas sehr Positives verbinden. Und Herr Poll hat die Idee geboren, Europäischer Board für Humanitäre Hilfe und Katastrophenschutz, und das mit seinem Beirat besprochen, und das fand große Zustimmung. Und es war eine ganz spontane Reaktion, dass den ersten Europäischen Award für humanitäre Hilfe die italienische Marine bekommen wird. Stellvertretend für die italienische Marine wird Herr Kapitän zur See Luigi Laporta den Preis entgegennehmen. I continue in English. I would like to introduce Captain Laporta to you. Please join me. Please join me here. Certainly it was not possible to invite the whole Italian Navy to Berlin, but you are the representative of the Italian Navy in a beautiful uniform. Thank you for coming. You are officer, you're a captain of the Italian Navy, but you have also a degree, you are an electronic engineer of the Pisa University. You had several assignments on Italian submarines. You had assignments to the submarine division of the Italian Navy General Staff and to the submarine program office of the Naval Procurement Directorate. And now you are in Germany. You are head of the Italian Navy liaison office to ThyssenKrupp Marine Systems in Kiel. That means your distance from Kiel to Berlin was not as far as if you would have come from Rome. The reason that we thought that the award should go to the Italian Navy was because of the very successful Operation Mare Nostrum. And I would like to mention, before I give the floor to you, some facts about Mare Nostrum. Operation Mare Nostrum was established by the Italian government in October 2013 to tackle the dramatic increase of migratory flows during the second half of the year and consequent tragic wreckages of the island of Lampedusa. The Italian naval and air units deployed to the Mare Nostrum were necessary to improve maritime security, patrol sea lanes, combat illegal activities, especially human trafficking, and tackle the Mediterranean humanitarian emergency in the Sicily Straits. And the operation Mare Nostrum covered a wide area in the Straits of Sicily, about 70,000 square meters, that is 3 times the region of Sicily. I don't want to mention the successes because you will do it in your presentation. I just hand over to you that you give us an idea of Mare Nostrum, and you have the chance to talk to us after Mr. Poll will hand over the award to you for the Italian Navy. The floor is yours.
So, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. So it's a privilege really for me and an honor to be here today representing here the Italian Navy and to receive such a prestigious award on behalf of the Chief of the Italian Navy, Admiral Giuseppe De Giorgi. That occasion offers also to me the opportunity to present in such a prestigious Congress, International Congress, the efforts and the achievements that the Italian Navy reached during the Operation Mare Nostrum that lasts more than 1 year, starting in October 2013 and till the end of October 2014. So, sorry, I have to check. Pointer, okay, and then, right? Okay. So, nowadays, the international geopolitical situation, as you all know, is characterized by a general feeling of increasing instability. So, the recognized global issues that are here shown in the slide are reflected in some way amplified in the Mediterranean basin, where different communities have to live together and sharing confined space and limited resources. So, as mentioned before, the area surrounding the Mediterranean Sea, the Mediterranean basin, is affected by a generalized instability, piracy in the Indian Ocean and in the Gulf of Guinea, internal friction in Africa and in Middle East, and bring and create a massive migration flow through those lands, and then those migration flows reach the Mediterranean Sea, and those people want to go anywhere, so that's where life conditions are better. And so the scenario, as I mentioned, is here, and what happened? We have to face also with the criminal organizations that had this flow of migration to the Mediterranean basin. So what happened? Italy started since 2004 to face the irregular migration through the Mediterranean basin, creating the operation Constant Vigilance. This operation was created to control the migration flow in the Mediterranean Sea. So I'm talking about 2004. We are talking about 10 years ago. In the same time, even the European Union created an agency with the same purposes, nearly. This was the agency Frontex, that everybody here knows, entrusted with the duty to monitor the southern European borders against irregular migration. So since 2004, also Frontex has led a series of joint operations in the Mediterranean basin. So, nevertheless, those actions did not prevent tragedies to happen in the Mediterranean Sea. The night between the 3rd and the 4th of October 2013, so only a few miles away from the Italian coastline from Lampedusa, a tragic event led to the death of 366 migrants. So, and this tragic event let the public opinion understand that a change was occurring. The effect of this change are still ongoing, and you talked about it, I think, in the last 2 days. So, the effect of these changes are still ongoing and are on the highlights of the world media. So, what happened then? Short after this tragic event, on the 14th of October 2013, the Italian government announced the start of Operation Mare Nostrum. So this was announced on the 14th of October, and on the 18th of October, the Italian Navy started in no time with the operation. And the lead of the conduct of this operation was assigned and delegated to the Italian Navy. The mission assigned was to further strengthen the maritime surveillance in order to increase the overall maritime security and safety by safeguarding the life at sea with a large aerial dispositive and its humanitarian components, and also countering illegal actions at sea, such as the human trafficking and the smuggling. So started Operation Mare Nostrum. and so I'd like to let you see what has been performed as action at sea from our Navy in this year. So one of the challenges that Operation Mare Nostrum has to overcome was the complexity of the operation and the necessity to coordinate the efforts for a large number of assets offered by different agencies that were not used until then, to act together and in a coordinated way. The contributors to the Operation Mare Nostrum, of course, all Italian assets, as you can see, were the Carabinieri, so this is the Italian military police. Carabinieri, of course, the Guardia di Finanza is another Italian military police. The police cell, then the Coast Guard, the Air Force, and of course different ministries, civilian ministries, such as Ministry of Interior, Health, and Transportation. So even some non-governmental organizations took part to the Operation Mare Nostrum and support aboard and ashore, such as the Foundation Rava, the Red Cross, and many others. So, as it has already started in the lead, the conduct of the operation and coordination of the operation was assigned to the Italian Navy. As you see, ships, helicopters, camcopters, aircrafts, everything was involved, all the means that were available was used for that operation. So, why the decision to assign this operation to the coordination to the operation to the Italian Navy? Because the Italian Navy has a very good background, and we have a very good, I say that because I'm a part of the Navy, of course, but it's reality, so we have a very good command and control capability ashore and at sea, trained crews, all the navies, of course, but we are proud of our crews, of course, trained for long-lasting operation at sea without ashore support, so I mean alone at sea. And a great ability to operate in bad weather conditions, and it happens often during the rescue activity. And okay, then this is the coordination that the Italian Navy had to perform in that year. As you can see, so the Italian Navy coordinated all the activities. As you can see here, we have the symbols of our. So this is the Navy. This is the Navy symbols, and here we have the Guardia di Finanza, the police, and the Coast Guard. Okay, and this was coordinated by the Italian Navy Maritime Operational Center, located in Rome, and thanks to that, it was possible to obtain a really good interagency coordination with a great contributor to the success of the operation. So with regard to the countering the illegal actions, Mare Nostrum main aim was to improve the control of the main migration routes from Egypt, Libya, and Syria, and especially that were organized by criminal organizations involving that irregular activities. The criminal used various means to transport, I can say, the poor migrants, dinghies, motorboats, fishing boats, and mother ships that were used to tow little motorboats, towing the motorboats near the coast and then leaving them to their destiny. That's what happened. And you can see in the following picture, so the key point was, of course, that an early detection of these migrant boats in order to save them from the tragic destiny, of course. And so, as you can see, I said, we resisted the situation of the migration flow into Italy in the years 2012 and 2013. Okay, these are those here because I want to compare that with the start of Operation Mare Nostrum. So you can see in 2012 we had more than 13,000 migrants arrived on the Italian coast and rescued by our ships. Then there was an escalation in 2013 arising the total number, the total figure of more than 40,000 people rescued at sea. Don't forget it, it's a rescue at sea. And so, at the beginning of the Operation Mare Nostrum, or short after the beginning of the operation, there was the public perception that perhaps the operation was a pulling factor, okay, a pulling factor for the migration flow towards Italy. If we have a good look on this graph, on these figures, it's not that. The reality is another reality, because, as you can see, if you analyze it, this is the start of the Operation Mare Nostrum, and we had a very, the slope of this graph, you can see we have really an increasing of the migration flow, and then after the start of the Operation Mare Nostrum, the slope reduced. That means that, in fact, Operation Mare Nostrum was not a pulling factor. The pulling factor was really the difficulties of the migrants, and was motivated by the catastrophic reality of most of the countries where the migrant belongs to. And okay, compared to the number of figures that I heard before, you can say, okay, 40,000 people. It's not comparable to the figure that you said before, but don't forget it's at sea. It's something different. So, and if we can have a look then on the migrants' nationalities. So the migrants came from countries with huge problems of security and also of poverty, further confirming that the size of this phenomenon was not relied to Operation Mare Nostrum. It started before Operation Mare Nostrum. Of course, the operation was also, the operation that was asked to the Navy was also to prosecute the criminals. So that means, and the need to arrest them, okay, to stop this migration flow through the Mediterranean Sea. And so the Navy captured a lot of motherboats. We can see that afterwards with the figures. And we were also dealing with a particular focus in collecting evidences, because everything has to be performed under the laws. Okay? So that means that a commanding officer on board of a military ship, he's not authorized to do anything he wants. It's a military ship, but of course, what happened? Then the commanding officer was in charge to shadow. That means shadowing means that he followed the mothership for perhaps days, 1-2 days, until he discovered that an illegal activity was on board, was performed on board, because the migrants, you couldn't see them because they are acting such fisher boats, and you can do nothing. But you have to be ready to collect the evidences that something illegal has happened, and then those evidences are piling down. So the evidences had been sent to the relevant public prosecutor office in Italy, and then gave authorization to board, according to the United Nations Convention of the Sea of Law. They had authorization to board the motherships and to arrest the trafficking. Okay? Then, as I said, the Navy used all means that were available. Even submarines were used, and this picture shows clearly this is a mothership with a towed little ship with the migrants on board. This evidence was sent by satellite by our. This is a picture taken by from one of our submarines. This picture was sent to the prosecutor office, and then the Navy came and they stopped the motherboard and arrested the criminals on board. So I said also submarines support the operation. So, okay, of course, I stated, so as mentioned, the challenges of Mare Nostrum has also to overcome was indeed the complexity of the operation and the necessity to coordinate also civilian, because the Mare Nostrum was not solely a military operation. The Mare Nostrum had dedicated equipment and employed civilian personnel to face the humanitarian emergency. And I'm going to give you more detail in the slides. So, on board the ship there were also identification teams composed by police personnel and cultural mediators, because in order to face any medical and legal necessity. So, as you can see here. So, this is the involvement of the non-governmental organizations also is here shown, such as the Red Cross, Brava Foundation. Of course, we have here also the participation of the Italian Navy. This is the integrated medical suit that had to be used during the operation. So the medical issues. You can see the medicals about the Navy ships provided advanced medical screening, recognition and isolation of people with potential infectious diseases, and support the sanitary organization ashore, making easier the activity once the people were bring the oil ashore. Okay. Okay, this is a summary of the. Okay, sorry, I have to go back. This is a summary and figures of the medical teams that have been employed. And afterwards, we can see here exactly the results of the operation in more than 1 year, 379 days, with more than 400 search and rescue events, more than 150,000 migrants helped, of which of them, so more than nearly 100,000 directly by the ships of the Italian Navy. That means an average of 1,400 people a day. 9 mother ships were captured, 366 smugglers were captured and delivered to the Italian justice, and during the whole operation in that time, 32 ships were employed by the Italian Navy and even 2 submarines. So now, okay, this was a resume of the results of Operation Mare Nostrum. But of course, the operation ended at the end of October 2014. But that does not mean that nothing happened. Because the Navy is still active. The Navy commitment in the Mediterranean Sea has not been concluded with Operation Mare Nostrum. And we still operate in order to contain the loss of human lives, to ensure advanced medical screening wherever possible, and to counter human trafficking in coordination with the Italian Legal Office of Prosecution. And so, of course, you know that actually in the Mediterranean Sea, the Triton operation built by Frontex is still running. The Italian Navy is also involved, so many countries, European countries, offer their assets to Triton, to Frontex, and we are still operating on there. So now, just to conclude, just some pictures to bring back the attention on the core business of the humanitarian operations, such as Operation Mare Nostrum. That is the person and the right of individuals to be assisted in case of necessity, difficulties, and even worse, if their lives are in danger. So let me conclude now with two more statements. Just want to say that perhaps one of the most appreciated prizes received up until now by the Italian Navy are those simple sketches realized by two little Iraqi girls. I think those girls are very grateful. And finally, I would like also to share with you a statement from the President Sergio Mattarella, the President of the Italian Republic, that said that it is unacceptable that the Mediterranean should become a big cemetery for those people looking for a better life. And I think that this is really a good reason to continue doing this job. Thank you very much for the attention.
Captain Laporta, I would like to thank you for your presentation on the Operation Mare Nostrum. I think you reminded us on the reasons why this was created, why Mare Nostrum was necessary. It started overnight after the October 3rd and 4th event in 2013, and you had only some days to get organized. You did it professionally. You reminded us about how many vessels, how many command centers were involved in this, who coordinated. It was the Italian Navy, and you had impressive pictures. One of these pictures are slides on that, what I asked out that it should be on the screen when the prize will be presented to you. I remember there are more than 150,000 people who are saved, their lives are saved in the Mediterranean, nearly 100,000 by the Italian Navy. It's not so important that there are 366 smugglers. These are, they get their sentences hopefully, but more important is that lives are saved. I would like to ask Mr. Prolt, the chief editor and the publisher of the Article, to join me at the stage, on the stage, and to say a few words to you and to hand over the prize to the Italian Navy.
Ja, ich wollte eigentlich das in einen Satz fassen. Herr Daas hatte Deutschland gelobt in der Führungsrolle der Flüchtlingsfrage in den letzten Wochen. Aber ich glaube, wenn einer den Preis verhindert, dann ist es die italienische Marine. Ganz herzlichen Dank. Ende unseres zweitägigen Kongresses genähert. Und ich wollte vielleicht noch eine Bemerkung machen zu diesem Award, den wir das erste Mal in diesem Jahr ausgelobt haben. Er heißt ja Europäischer Award für Humanitäre, Hilfe und Katastrophenschutz, und das sagt ja schon, dass wir nicht nur Katastrophenschützer und Katastrophenschutzorganisationen, wie jetzt auch zu sehen war, auszeichnen wollen, sondern auch das Thema humanitäre Hilfe etwas breiter sehen. Das heißt, es können auch Einzelpersonen, Organisationen, Firmen, wer immer mit signifikanten Taten in Erscheinung getreten ist, im Zusammenhang mit humanitärer Hilfe und Katastrophenschutz diesen Preis bekommen. Und wie dieses Beispiel zeigt, es muss nicht unbedingt eine Katastrophenschutzorganisation sein, sondern es kann eine Organisation sein, die bestimmte Fähigkeiten hat, die in einer bestimmten Situation und Lage wie dieser 100.000 Menschen das Leben retten können. So, das jetzt zum Preis und vielleicht noch eine Formalie. Wir würden Sie auffordern, einfach informell, beziehungsweise vorwurfslos würde man in Deutschland korrekterweise sagen, wenn Sie Vorschläge dafür haben und Sie in den nächsten Monaten, vielleicht warten wir noch ein paar Wochen oder ein paar Monate ab, oder Anfang des Jahres, Vorschläge für den Award zu machen, die werden wir alle sammeln, sortieren und werden die dann in unserem Beirat erörtern und dort dann zur Abstimmung stellen, und wir werden dann im nächsten Jahr gespannt sein, was wir auf die Beine gebracht haben. Ich möchte aber zwei Personen ganz kurz nochmal nach vorne bitten, das ist einmal Frau Müller und einmal Herr Scherz, und das sind die beiden, die für den Herrschaften, die für den Kongress und die Vorbereitung verantwortlich waren. Das ist zum einen